Have you ever pondered over the question, what would our world look like if electricity wasn't invented? Imagine waking up to a world where there are no bright lights flickering at the flip of a switch, no refrigerators humming in the background, no computers, no televisions, no smartphones. It's almost impossible, isn't it? This is the power and influence of electricity on our lives. Electricity is not just about powering appliances, it's about powering our civilization. It is the lifeblood of our modern world, the invisible force that keeps our society running. But what if it never existed? This video aims to uncover the intriguing possibilities, painting a picture of a world devoid of this invisible yet potent force. How would our lives have unfolded? What would our cities look like? How would technology, industry, and even our daily routines be shaped in a world without electricity? Prepare to embark on an intriguing journey through an electrifying world without the electricity. Imagine the dawn of civilization. The wheel gets invented, fire is discovered, but there is no electricity. Now let's journey back to the time when the wheel was the pinnacle of technology, and fire was the most innovative tool at our disposal. A world where the crackle of a campfire was the only source of light after sunset, and the only way to communicate was through direct conversation or sending messages via runners or on horseback. Without electricity, early human civilization would have faced significant challenges. The absence of this vital energy source would have greatly impacted communication. Without electricity, there would be no telegraph, no radio, no television, and certainly no internet. Information would have been slow to spread, leading to isolated communities with limited knowledge of the world beyond their immediate surroundings. Food preservation would have been another major challenge. Without refrigeration, food would have to be consumed quickly or preserved using traditional methods like salting, drying, and pickling. This lack of preservation techniques could have led to food scarcity and increased the risk of foodborne illnesses. Furthermore, the absence of electricity would have meant a significant limitation in scientific and medical advancements. Without electric-powered microscopes, X-ray machines, and other medical equipment, diagnosing and treating diseases would have been far more challenging. The scientific exploration of our world and universe would have been severely limited, as many of our most remarkable discoveries have been made possible by electric-powered technology. The Industrial Revolution, too, would have taken a different turn. Without electric power, industries would have remained dependent on manual labor and animal power, limiting productivity and economic growth. Cities would have looked vastly different, with no electric lights to illuminate the streets at night. In essence, a world without electricity would have been a slower, more isolated place. Progress would have been painstakingly slow, with each advancement hard-earned through manual labor and ingenuity. The dawn of civilization without electricity would have been a vastly different, challenging world. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, a period of rapid industrial growth and dramatic change. Now let's imagine this transformative epic without the magic of electricity. What would it look like? In this alternate reality, steam power would be king. The hiss and whistle of steam engines would echo through factories, powering the massive looms and machines that drove the economy. Steam, a force unleashed by heating water, would be the heartbeat of this industrial world, providing the motive power for industries far and wide. Steam-powered machinery, however, wouldn't be as efficient as their electric counterparts. They'd be larger, bulkier, demanding more space and more resources. The need for constant refueling with coal or wood would make them high maintenance, and the time it took to get these machines up to operating temperature would slow down production. Without the advantage of electric lighting, factories would be reliant on natural light, restricting work hours to daylight. After sunset, the world of work would come to a halt, shrouded in darkness. And then there's the pollution. Oh, the pollution. The burning of coal and wood to fuel these steam engines would release vast amounts of smoke and soot into the atmosphere. Cities would be cloaked in a permanent haze, the air thick with the smell of burning fuel. The environmental impact would be enormous, with deforestation rampant to meet the ever-growing demand for wood. Without electricity, the Industrial Revolution would not be the clean, efficient leap forward that we know it to be. It would be a world of belching smokestacks and soot-covered workers, where production is slow and labor-intensive. The Industrial Revolution was a turning point in human history, ushering in an era of unprecedented growth and prosperity. But without electricity, this revolution would be a different beast entirely. It would be a grueling era of inefficiency and pollution, a world struggling to keep up with its own ambition. Without electricity, the Industrial Revolution would have been a grueling era of inefficiency and pollution. Imagine our modern times without the modern conveniences. A world without the hum of electricity coursing through our lives, shaping our existence in ways we often take for granted. Without the spark of electricity, the world as we know it would be a vastly different place. Our reliance on technology, a byproduct of the electric revolution, would vanish into thin air. The internet, our global information superhighway, would be non-existent. Picture yourself trying to navigate through your day without the aid of technology. No smartphones to connect us, no computers to work on, and no internet to access a world of information. A slower, more deliberate pace of life would be the norm, where every task would require more time and effort. Communication would take a hit too. Without electricity, we'd revert to older, slower forms of communication. Letters instead of emails, face-to-face conversations over video calls. The world would feel a lot bigger, and people a lot farther. But it's not just our daily routines and communication that would be affected. Consider the impact on healthcare. With no electricity, there would be no advanced medical equipment. Diagnoses would be more difficult, treatments less effective, and the overall quality of healthcare would decline. Our industries would be forced to go back to manual labor, slowing down production and affecting the global economy. Schools and universities would have to rely on traditional teaching methods, potentially limiting the scope of education. And yet, in this world stuck in the past, we'd also see some interesting developments. Perhaps we'd see a resurgence of old crafts and skills, a return to community-oriented living, and a deeper connection with nature. The absence of electricity would also have environmental implications. With no electricity to power our factories and vehicles, we'd see a significant decrease in air pollution. On the other hand, the lack of electric power might lead us to exploit other natural resources, potentially causing other forms of environmental damage. Life in modern times without electricity would be a blend of the old and the new, with more emphasis on the old. It's a world that's hard to imagine, yet interesting to ponder upon. What would the future hold in a world without electricity? A world without electricity is a world on an uncertain path, a path that would have been washed in the dim glow of candlelight rather than the dazzling brilliance of electric lamps. It's a world where the wind and the sun would become our closest allies. Renewable sources of energy like these would be paramount in such a scenario. Imagine windmills dotting the landscape, their blades spinning with the wind, powering mechanical devices. Or consider sun-drenched rooftops fitted with solar panels, capturing the sun's energy to heat water and homes. In a world without electricity, we might have become more intimately connected with the rhythms of nature, our lives shaped by the rising and setting of the sun, the blowing of the wind, and the flow of water. But let's not forget the indomitable spirit of human innovation, the very trait that led to the discovery of electricity in the first place. In the face of adversity, humanity has a knack for finding creative solutions. Without electricity, we might have developed other innovative ways to communicate, travel, and live comfortably. Perhaps we would have advanced bioluminescence, harnessing the natural light produced by certain organisms. Imagine streets illuminated by bioluminescent trees, or homes lit by jars filled with glowing bacteria. Or perhaps we would have perfected the science of harnessing kinetic energy. Every footstep, every movement could generate power. The possibilities are endless, limited only by the bounds of human imagination and ingenuity. The absence of electricity could also have profound societal implications. It could shift our values and priorities, changing the way we view progress and success. Maybe in this world, we would have placed greater emphasis on sustainable living, community involvement, and appreciating the simpler joys of life. The future without electricity would be an intriguing, uncertain journey full of challenges and opportunities. It's a journey that may seem daunting, but one that could potentially lead to a future where humanity is more in tune with nature, more inventive, and perhaps more mindful of the world we inhabit. So, what have we learned from this journey? We've ventured into an alternate reality, a world devoid of the spark of electricity. We've seen civilizations dawn without the brilliance of electric light, shaping an entirely different picture of progress. Imagine a world forever entwined in the past, with no electric-powered industries to propel it forward. Our daily lives, stripped of the conveniences we take for granted, from the simple task of flicking a light switch to the complex mechanisms powering our cities. The path of humanity, uncertain and challenging, bereft of the guiding light of electricity. The significance of electricity is unparalleled. It fuels our industries, lights up our homes, and powers the devices that keep us connected. It has shaped our world in ways we often overlook, driving progress and innovation. In the absence of electricity, our world would be a vastly different place. offering a glimpse into a path not taken.